As the rivalry between the US and China heats up in the Pacific, the US has begun reactivating its undersea sensing networks for detecting submarines. According to Reuters, the US Navy's initiative aims to rejuvenate a naval intelligence program dating back to the Cold War era, specifically the Classified Sound Surveillance System, SOSUS, which is presently referred to as the Integrated Undersea Surveillance System, IUSS. This is significant news. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how the US plans to monitor Chinese submarines with an upgraded Cold War-era undersea network. Let's get into the details. Following the end of World War II, the U.S. Navy's Office of Naval Research initiated an exploration into the possibilities presented by the Deep Sound Channel, a layer within the deep ocean capable of transmitting sound over extensive distances. The U.S. Navy found that subsea hydrophones deployed in this layer can detect submarines from hundreds of miles away. Beginning in the early 1950s, hydrophone arrays and receiving stations were deployed up and down the U.S. eastern seaboard. The program was eventually extended out as far as Iceland and as far west as the Aleutian Islands. One of its most renowned accomplishments was the detection of the sinking of the Soviet ballistic missile submarine K-129 in 1968, a pivotal event leading to the top-secret Glomar exploration mission. After the conclusion of the Cold War, the threat of Soviet submarines diminished. SOSUS underwent consolidation, which resulted in the closure of bases and a reduction in the program's importance. Currently, priorities are once more undergoing a shift. China is engaged in the most significant military expansion since World War II and has emerged as the world's largest naval force when the sheer number of vessels is taken into account. People's Liberation Army Navy has a growing fleet of conventionally powered as well as nuclear-powered submarines. There are 4 nuclear-powered submarine classes. Type 092 and Type 094 are ballistic missile subs, whereas Type 091 submarine and Type 093 submarine are attack subs. Type 094 submarines are actually a grave threat for the US and allies, since each of these is armed with 12 long-range, nuke-capable JL-2 or JL-3 SLBM. JL-2 has a range of 7,200 kilometers, that's 4,500 miles, whereas JL-3 can strike at a distance of 9,000 kilometers or 5,600 miles. While 6 Type 094 submarines are active now, there is the possibility that that number could rise to 10. Nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines are the most survivable leg of the triad and the ultimate nuclear deterrence. They're hard to detect and track, and hence can't be taken out using a preemptive strike. For reference, the 14 ballistic missile submarines of Ohio class together carry approximately 50% of the total U.S. active inventory of strategic thermonuclear warheads. China is also in possession of an expanding fleet of attack submarines. The conventionally powered submarines consist of Yuan class, Kilo class, Song class, and Ming class. Projections suggest there could be up to 68 conventional powered subs by the year 2030. Their latest diesel-electric submarine design is much improved when compared to older, noisy examples and could pose a significant threat. The Integrated Undersea Surveillance System, or IUSS, consists of stationary, mobile, and deployable acoustic arrays, serving as critical sources of tactical cueing for anti-submarine warfare (ASW) units. IUSS stands as the principal method for submarine detection encompassing both nuclear and diesel-powered submarines within the U.S. Navy. In response to the development of stealthier submarines and countermeasures aimed at eluding the undersea network, newer technologies have been progressively integrated over time to stay ahead of emerging threats. This includes the incorporation of swifter processors, higher capacity storage devices, and more efficient code, collectively enhancing the capabilities of locating undersea hazards. Reuters reported the revamp of IUSS, and the investments will go into several different priority areas. The U.S. Navy will modernize and upgrade the subsea cable arrays that make up the permanently installed base of the system. It's also investing $3 billion for a fleet of 7 new ocean surveillance ships to be built by Austal USA and L3 Harris. These vessels will be equipped to offer both passive and active anti-submarine surveillance capabilities, utilizing towed array sonar systems. Additionally, they will incorporate portable seabed-based sensors, unmanned drones, and artificial intelligence technology to process and analyze data gathered from these various sources, as outlined in the report. A spokesperson for Submarine Force U.S. Pacific Fleet could not confirm specific details, but told Reuters that the systems have and will experience growth and recapitalization as subsea technologies are developed and as defense priorities are updated. China has significantly overhauled almost every aspect of its military. It has, in some areas, reached parity with the U.S., and in a few even surpassed, like in hypersonic weapons. But it still has a lot of catching up to do when it comes to fielding subs with low observable characteristics. Chinese sources reported that Type 093's noise level is on par with the American improved Los Angeles and Russian Akula class at 110 decibels. In 2009, USNONI listed the Type 093 as being noisier than Russian Project 671 RTM, NATO reporting name Victor 3, which entered service in 1979. The Type 094 is thought to be about 25 decibels louder than the best U.S. submarines. In this situation, IUSS would be very handy in detecting these PLAN submarines, which are increasingly posing a greater threat.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.